Okay. Good afternoon, Cross family members. Thank you all for joining us. For those of you who are not familiar with myself, my name is Roy Singh. I'm the senior travel coordinator and administrator here at Cross Catholic Outreach. Today we'll be conducting a basic training session for travelers. We have with us Lisa Roybal, who is our account manager at Christofferson. Christofferson Business Travel is the new travel management company we're working with. They took over our account after the contract ended with American Express. Many of you are familiar with that. So this training session will be roughly about 30 minutes long. We ask everyone to please save your questions until the end, and Lisa will be sure to answer them for you. You can use the raise hand feature to indicate when you have questions at the end of the presentation, of course. So without further ado, I'd like to turn the floor over to Miss Lisa Roybal. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your busy day to join this webinar. Hopefully, you'll find some value as we walk through your ability to book in Concur and how that looks moving forward. So here at Christofferson Travel, the screen that I'm sharing is an Airportal screen. I don't know if most of you have had the opportunity yet to actually log in to Airportal, but this is where you'll log in to single sign-on into Concur. Airportal is a really great tool. It's a proprietary technology of Christofferson Travel, and it allows you to search for your own travel itineraries. You're able, like I say, to do a travel request here. I'm not going to spend too much time in Airportal because of the time restraint that we have for your training, but you are always welcome to reach out to me with any questions you may have regarding the Airportal tool, or also Roy. But again, feel free to always reach out to me with any questions regarding your needs for travel. So having said that, what you will do when you're in Airportal, I'm going to move here to people because this is how it's going to show for you when you log in. You're going to come onto your screen as your user, which will have your name up here. And if you just look for this little suitcase icon called Book Travel, you just simply click on that and move down to Book and Manage Your Travel Online. From there, you're going to click, and it's going to single sign you into Airportal, which will look like this. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Let me go back in. It kicked me out because I was trying to log in. Give me just a minute here. I'm using the admin login that I use to take care of your Concur site. So let me get into here. Give me just a minute. I'm going to go off camera because it might be the bandwidth that's giving us issues with the.
Hey, Lisa, I understand.
And we all may want to go off video because that might be causing a delay. So, and everything slowing down. So give me just a second here.
Sure.
I was just in here just a second ago. So sorry about that, you guys. Let's see if it's going to load so I can get into Concur. But this is generally a much smoother process because, like I said, I'm trying to log in with a bunch of people on the phone. And so with the bandwidth of this meeting, that might be why we're all sharing our video. And it kind of slows things down. So give me just a second here. Let me see if it's going to drop my admin actions here. There. Okay, so again, for you folks, the way that you're going to log in, as I said, is when you're first initially logging into Airportal, you're going to go to the suitcase icon, which is Book Travel. You're going to book and manage trips online. You click on that, it's going to quickly single sign on into Concur. And the landing page that you're going to see will be your company notes page here. So you have your upcoming trips and your company notes page. Those are the things you'll see first, okay? As you can see, these are things that I've been working on. I'm just gonna cancel that trip because we're gonna go through a new one. But what I wanted to show you first, just to start this process, is the first thing you're going to want to do if you haven't updated your travel profile in a while. I highly recommend that you go here to your profile settings, launch into your travel profile. This is where you'll do any updates. You're going to add frequent flyer numbers, cell phone numbers, your travel arranger. You can add here anything that you might need. You're going to start here. There are 5 required fields that are required of your travel profile to be complete prior to being able to book travel in Concur or with a travel agent. And the first one is you have to have, of course, your first, middle, and last name. If you don't have a middle name, you simply select no middle name, because if you go and try to book travel, it's going to stop you and say, there are some required fields that you need to complete before you're able to start your booking. The next required field would be phone numbers. It's very important to add a mobile telephone number, as airlines, that is the way that they get a hold of you if there's a schedule change or a flight cancellation. So if you do not have a mobile phone listed in your travel profile, will you please go in and add that? That's very important. The other will be your gender and your birth date and your email address. So those are the 5 fields you must have to consider your profile complete before you can begin booking. You're also, as you move down this, as I'm moving down the profile here, you're able to add any of your travel preferences. You can add any airline frequent flyer numbers, hotel numbers, your car. If you have Emerald Isles, this is where you'll go in and you'll add your program here. And you simply just click on add. You select the button that you're going to add to, here, and then you move down here and save. So just be sure whatever you're doing in here, the word in your travel profile is save, save, save. So if you think that you've saved it, you're not going to, it won't be saved until you actually hit the save button anywhere along the profile, for the profile fields here. Do you guys have any questions on this? You can add your hotel, if you have, if you use your own card to guarantee your hotels, however you want to do that. I know we use your card, your corporate card, for that purpose, but you're also able to add credit cards in here as well. Now, you have your corporate card we book for air and service fees and hotel guarantees. So you don't necessarily need to worry about that. If you wanted to assign a travel arranger, this is where you would do that here as well. And that person would have access to book travel for you. I don't know if there's anybody on this phone call that has somebody, an assistant, or that manages your travel for your department, but that's where they would need to add their information. And again, just make sure you have those 5 required fields. Everything else is supplemental information that you can come in and add all of your frequent flyer and loyalty numbers to. Are there any questions before I move on? Great. The first thing I want to show you then, I'm just going to show you, you would then just hit this little travel icon here. That's going to move you into your travel search page, which is also where you have your company notes section and upcoming trips. So if you had any upcoming trips, you would see them here. If you had any unused tickets, you would see a tab here saying you have some unused credits on file. You would be able to see and view those here. But what I'm going to show you right now is your company notes section. This is important information because as you're booking in Concur, if you run into any kind of issue while booking in Concur, you're going to want to reach out to the online support team. You can either give them a call directly or you can email them. That team is dedicated specifically for the online booking tool, where they're going to help troubleshoot with you, maybe help you figure out if there's a search parameter issue that you're not utilizing. If you go in there, you're not finding an airplane flight that is available, but it's not showing. That's the team you would reach out to say, hey, I'm in here, I'm having a problem finding this, can you help me? They would be able to assist you with that, okay? So that's important. This is an important piece of information. This is your online support contact information. if you contact Roy, he'll contact me and I'll contact online support. So if you want to cut out 2 middlemen, the best thing to do is to just reach out to them directly. Then if there's a problem with the actual tool, they escalate that to me. And then that's where I get involved if we have to, and then Roy and I discuss what we need to do to fix the issue or what have you. But just for general booking questions, that is the team you're going to want to reach out to. For your full service bookings, if you made a reservation and you want help with changing, you're more than welcome to reach out to our advisor team. This is your dedicated team of advisors that are designated for cross Catholic outreach. They're available from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday Mountain Time. And this is their contact information. So you are always able to just log in here to find those contacts that you may need moving forward. Okay? Any questions on that?
Oh, Lisa, I'm sorry. In regards to problems, specific IT issues, which more or less require screen hearing to resolve, Brandlin and I have set up a link for our cross family members. They can simply just register and meet with a live technician. It's almost like an express service. It can be done in like 5 minutes, and they can, for those of us who are pressed with time, it allows us to have that extra support to not having to, go through the longer process. There's always someone waiting to receive our staff members once they register on that link. So that's something I'm going to forward.
Yeah, is it the Air Portal link
Uh,
that she provided you for opening up a session with her IT department?
Yeah, well, it was generally just the CBT online support, not
Okay.
specific to your portal though.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
Great.
gonna forward that to the whole team after the meeting is done.
Perfect. Okay. Well, that's good. That's great. So the next thing I wanted to show you folks would be up here in the corner here. You see this little help button. If you click on that, it's going to give you resources to maybe self-help, right? So if you had a question, you could always just go into help and it'll give you information on how to browse and what to look for. This particular help FAQ link will help you see if you wanted to do like a demo, if you wanted to see a demo on how to update your profile, how to do a quick booking, how to book a car or hotel. It has all these links here for you to be able to do that. The other thing I wanted to show you before I move into an actual booking is your travel policy. Down here in the lower left-hand side is your company's summary. It's a summarized policy on what is configured and built in Concur. And if you wanted to look at that, you'd be able to come here and see a general summary of what is configured in Concur. If you want to sign up for service status issues for Concur, you're able to do that here. The link underneath the travel policy allows you to add your email information so that if Concur is down, you would get notified and you would know ahead of time that there's been some service issues. Which is also, probably good to know if you're Roy, so then you could actually send that out to your folks and say, hey, FYI, Concur is down currently.
Yeah,
So
that's very useful.
so having said that, let's move into a booking. As you can see right here, this is your little travel search window, the box here that we're going to look. I can do the air, car, hotel here. I can just do car. I can just do hotel. I can do this based on round trip, one way, or multi-city. If you're doing multi-city, I really recommend you work with a full service agent to do that. If it's a simple round trip, Concur is a great tool to utilize. You'll see that there's company notes here for you folks. And down here, the note before you go, if you click here, if you're going internationally, this launches you into our Christofferson, excuse me, I have a cold, so this launches you into Christofferson's intranet with a Sherpa link that allows you to enter the destination that you're going to, and you can see if there's any documentation, what's going on with COVID, that type of thing. So it's a really good little tool to utilize. And it's just right here, the Know Before You Go resource link. And again, the travel booking demo, if you want to take a look, you can do that here, booking demo. But again, this is, if you've done Expedia, it looks like, I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with Concur because of where you came before. So, and I know you guys were concur. So having said that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to book, say, Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to do a round trip ticket. I want to fly from Fort Lauderdale. And as you can see, it gives me options. I can either do Fort Lauderdale or the area airports. The area airports are, of course, West Palm Beach and Miami. So if I were to click on the area airports, it would give me options for all three airports. But let's just do Fort Lauderdale for now. And I'm going to say I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. And of course, again, it gives you the area airports. I can either do Ronald Reagan Airport, or I can say, hey, you know what? I'm flexible. I can fly to Baltimore, Dulles, or DC, just depending on the fare. And it'll pull all those options, okay? But for this demo, we're just gonna do Fort Lauderdale to Washington, DC. I'm gonna select my departure date. I'm gonna say I need to leave on Tuesday, the 28th of February. And I am going to return on Friday, the 3rd. I can depart I can leave this open, morning departures, with an 8-hour window. If I keep this 8-hour window open, it's actually going to do a 16-hour search, 8 hours before, 8 hours after. Now, that's going to give us too many options, right? I personally usually just do it. Most companies have a 3 or 4 hour window default. For some reason, you guys have it 8 hours. So I don't know, Roy, if you want to take note of that and maybe shorten that, but it doesn't matter because
Yes.
everybody can go in and manipulate it themselves. But I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I want to leave around 9 o'clock in the morning. And I don't want this to search 8 hours before and 8 hours after 9. I am flexible to about 3 hours either way. And I'm going to return, I can return anytime after 2 because my meeting's going to leave around 11. So again, I'm going to say, okay, you can give me a 6-hour window search, 3 hours before and 3 hours after. I want both a car and I need a hotel. So this is where I select those pieces. Again, for this demo, I'm just going to say I need something by the airport. And if I really wanted to get technical, I could actually specify the actual hotel here, but I'm not going to do that. I am flexible based on the price. So here's where I can search class of service. Now, of course, your average travelers, you're all going to be booking main cabin economy. There may be an occasion where economy comfort might be something that you need to book. And if so, you can actually select premium economy here. It's going to ask you, you're going to have to report why. Throughout the booking process, there will be something come up and you're going to have to explain to your company why you're booking premium economy. So for this instance, we're going to just look at economy. And then here in this search box, I can search by price or schedule. I'm price conscious and I really want to see prices because I'm pretty sure I can find a schedule based on price. This pulls no double connections, so it's not going to show anything with more than one connection. So it's either going to show me nonstops or connecting flights. That's what it's going to base my criteria on and the company policy on. So now as I move into my search, it's going to start pulling up all of the air possibilities here. Okay, so at the very top, you see, first of all, this matrix, right? You see 102 results just based off of that 6-hour window that I just plugged in. So now imagine if I would have kept it at the 8 hours, how many results you would have returned. The more of the broader the window that you have open, the longer it's going to take for that to churn and find results, right? So again, recommend setting it to a 3 or 4 hour, not keeping it at that 8 hour. So as I'm searching, it shows that I have either 7 nonstop results or I have 95 results with a connection. Delta is giving us the lowest prices starting at $542.41, and they have 25 options based on a connection. Now, if I wanted to see the nonstop, I could see that with JetBlue. They have 6 results. Well, let's take a look at that because that's still within policy of what my company has set for me. So if I wanted to look at JetBlue for $614.62, I could fly at 8:45 in the morning and arrive at 11:13 returning at about 5 o'clock, getting in at 7:34 p.m. That's pretty good. I think I could probably, work with that. So I'm just going to look at this though, like, what's this for $713? I want to take a look at that. So if I were to view fares, that's on American. I could look at these, and here's a fare for $833 that has this little icon here that triggers out of policy. So if I wanted to look at that and say, well, why is that triggering that? Like, what if I wanted to book that? It would tell me I could book it, but I'm going to have to explain why. It's going to make me tell you, my company, why I'm choosing this particular airfare an option, because it's $200 over the lowest logical fare. It's basing this off of the lowest logical fares on Delta, and because this is $200 more than what Delta is showing during this time frame, it's telling me I'm triggering this, and I can't really, I shouldn't choose it because it's outside of my company policy. I just wanted to show you that. Obviously, we wouldn't book something like that. We're going to go with the most logical options, right? So now I'm looking at this. Hey, Southwest has something for $474. I want to see what that's about. It's giving me a nonstop on the outbound. That's pretty good. And I could probably do this. It's not getting me home too late for $474. Maybe I'll do that. So I want to view what this actually is offering and what it allows. So as you can see, it's allowing me 2 free check bags to want to get away. Excuse me. As you'll see, there's this anytime, this want to get away plus actually. If I'm booking for a guest, folks, I might want to look at this. You want to kind of look at the fares that you're shopping for, because if I'm looking for a guest traveler that is not a Cross Catholic Outreach employee, maybe a recruit or something, I want to look at this because this might be the better option, and it's still cheaper than most of the other airlines. And look at this. It allows me to transfer the flight credit. So if this person cancels their flight and they do not go, well, look at that. For just a little bit more, I can book a flight that I'm going to be able to transfer to somebody else if I'm booking as a guest, for a guest traveler. So things like that you want to be very aware of. Delta offers refundable tickets that are not much more than the non-refundable. So as you're searching these, and if you're booking for a guest, recruit, candidate, what have you, it's always good to look at these possibilities, because you may want to book a ticket that's going to either be refundable or allow you to transfer. And this Want to Get Away Plus allows you to do that. But again, for this example, I'm booking as me, the traveler. I'm not, if I have to cancel, I know I can use my credit down the road. But again, I just wanted you to be very cognizant and aware, for a little more in some of these airlines, you're able to book these tickets that are actually transferable, which is a very beneficial if you're a person that books for others. So I'm going to grab this Want to Get Away, just the regular, we all know the Want to Get Away fare. It's giving me the options here. I'd rather do nonstop, but you know what? It's not going to get me home much later. So I'll just go ahead with this Southwest connection coming back, because I'll get my nonstop going. It's telling me that the total fare is going to be $474.96. Now you'll notice there's nowhere to add a card, because your company corporate card is set to default to pay for this ticket. Telling me this is a non-refundable ticket, and by selecting reserved flights, it's telling me I have agreed and I understand that this is a non-refundable. So now I'm going to move on to my car selection. Did you have any questions on the air? Okay. So now I'm going to move on to car. So it's loading the matrix here. What you'll see is National Enterprise should pull up first as your most preferred for Cross Catholic, and then Budget and Alamo. And as you can see, this is interesting. This is showing an economy car, which is my company's preferred, but it's showing me it's $132.60 a day, which, Roy, we need to look at, as you know. But again, we're moving through this demo. So I'm going to look at this. I'm like, okay, that's with National. So here's Enterprise. These are usually for the duration of the trip. So let me see. If I look at this compact car for $229, this is actually $60 per day. It's going to be cheaper, obviously, than what it was showing me, right? But but it's not really my company's most preferred. The most preferred is the economy car, not the compact car. So this is $60 a day. If I wanted a standard for just a little bit more for 61 a day, I'm probably going to go for that because it's going to be bigger than the economy and less expensive. But it triggers a rule. It's saying, hey, you know what? This exceeds your company's preferred size of intermediate. Well, if I book the intermediate right now, it's 132 a day. So clearly I'm not going to do that. It's more expensive. So I'm going to grab this. So I grab this and it's going to tell me I need to give them a reason why. So I can say, hey, my company's preferred size is unavailable. And the e-car, I'm going to tell them why so that we can then investigate this. I'm saving this and I'm moving on. So now it's giving me the total estimated cost. Of course, this is going to be different because I don't know what the local municipality taxes are. You know, if they're paying toward airport construction, you know, what are local tolls, fees are going on locally in that city. But at least I know, okay, given 233, give or take a few dollars, that's what it's telling me that this estimate's going to be. Now, if I wanted to add my Emerald Isle here, I could add my program here. I notice I don't have, so then I could add it in there, save it, and it's going to save to my profile and here. So I highly recommend if you don't have, if you're not enrolled in Emerald Isle, get enrolled in Emerald Isle because it's good for both national and enterprise. So now we're going to look at hotels. Excuse me. I came back with a sinus infection from Cabo, so. Okay, so here are my hotels. I asked in my original search criteria, I want to be within 5 miles of the airport. And so I can either look at it by mapping, or I can just simply look at it by just the availability and the cost. Now, of course, I'm cost conscious, and I do like Hilton Garden Inns. They're great. I know they're solid, and I'm going to look at the view rooms because this is $193. That seems pretty decent for DCA. You know, that's really cheap for Washington, D.C. So let's take a look and see what I can, you know, what is this? What is it based off of? So the 193, as you can see, is based off 2 queen beds with the 6-day cancellation policy. And I have my Hilton Honors. So I don't know if I want to book that based on a 6-day cancellation. Do they have any? So I'm just going to search here and see if there's anything with a smaller, you know, a time window of maybe within 24 to 48 hours. It's not too much more. So I can see 2 days, this consortia rate and the BCD rates. These 2 rates, folks, are what you get booking through Christofferson Business Travel. We are a consortium of BCD. They're a global TMC. And because we partner with them, we're able to load other discounted rates that you would not normally see. So I'm going to grab, because this one's based on 2-day cancellation and it's not much more, just for safety, you know, I might grab that $201 rate and it conforms to my company policy. And look at this, there's a rate change during my stay. So if I click on the actual rate, I can go in and it should show me what is changing during my stay here. So let's look at that. So I've grabbed that and it's down here. When you're accepting the rate and details, it will show us here what the changes are. So as you can see, $224 is the first night, $190, and then it drops to $199 the 1st of March. The 2nd of March, it goes even further down. So my estimated total is $687.79. So it's on that page after I select it, I move down and it's making me agree. So this means that you have read the important details of your cancellation policy in here and you know going into it, there's a rate change. Now I'm going to reserve and accept. And that's going to process the Air Car Hotel. So this next page is going to give me a synopsis of everything that I just booked. Now, if I had only booked air, right here, I could actually, oh, I forgot, I do need to add a car, or I do need to add a hotel. This is where I can add that. This also tells me, hey, based on what I have, my airfare has to be ticketed by tomorrow, actually by tonight, because this is going to cancel by 1 a.m. Eastern time. So I have to get this ticketed tonight based off of the type of advanced purchase rules that the airline has. It's not based off of anything other than airline rules, this whole ticketing, okay? So it's giving me, again, a synopsis of what I just booked. If I wanted to print this itinerary or email it to somebody, I could do this. Now you'll notice here, this is not fully finished. I have not finished booking. This is just the confirmation, just a recap of what we have booked, okay? So if I wanted to change or cancel, it's at this time I could change and cancel any piece or component of my trip. I could do it here. Now, if the airline allowed seats, I could come here and I could change my seat assignment as well. Because the seat assignments with Delta, United, American, all those airlines that do allow pre-reserved seats, based on your criteria that you have in your travel profile, if you have it set up that you like an aisle forward or a window rear, it's automatically going to assign a seat assignment for you during the booking process based on your criteria that you have booked, that you have listed in your travel profile. And it is at this time you can also go in and change your seat assignments. You're like, you know what, I want to see, is there something closer, right? And this is where you're able to do that. So this gives me an estimated total of my whole trip. I'm going to click on next. And this is where I can name my trip. I need to identify what I'm traveling for. Like, you know, if I'm going to XYZ conference or, you know, whatever you might travel for. That's what you would say, XYZ conference, right? And then if I wanted to send a copy of this confirmation, I could send it to somebody else. These are all these required fields you have to fill out before it finishes your booking, okay? So if I needed to find out what department I'm in, okay, I am in human resource. Again, this is all testing, but these give me at least options here of what I'm able to add. So again, unless you fill out these required fields, it's not going to let you move forward. Okay, so I'm still not done. It says to complete your booking, you have to press purchase ticket at the bottom. So I need to do that now. So this is where I would do this. I'm not going to do that because it'll ticket and I don't want to. But this is where I would purchase ticket. And then on the next page, it's like you get your confirmation. This is done. Here's your confirmation number. You are good to go. So here I can just cancel my trip, or where I was earlier, if say I forget, right, to click on purchase, it will remind me that I have a booking that needs to be ticketed. It has not been ticketed. So see, one or more trips in this below are unfinished. So when I go in, it'll give me that pop-up saying, hey, you need to finish your trip. But right here, I'm going to cancel and test. I'll name it test. And that's essentially it, folks. That is how you will log in from, from AirPortal to single sign into Concur. And it really is much smoother than the way that it began, I promise you. I promise you. You're going to log in, hit that suitcase icon, book and manage, click on book and manage. It's going to launch you right in. But of course, you know, when you're doing a demo, there's always going to be, you know, like, oopsies.
Yeah, I think
So
the more
yeah.
that they practice, the easier it will
Yeah.
become.
So do you guys have any questions? Are there any questions I can answer for you? Do you feel like, I don't know, I'm assuming most of you are very familiar with Concur. Are there some of you that have never booked in Concur? All right, well, everybody's quiet, so I guess quiet is good.
I have
This is
never booked in Concur.
Pardon me?
I have never booked in Concur.
Okay. So do you feel like what I just showed you should be pretty easy? Should be pretty simple?
No, it was real simple with Sharon.
Yeah, and anytime you have questions, like I said, when you're in the booking tool, if I can just stress anything, it'll be, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. To reach out to the online support team. They are live, and that's their whole sole purpose is to be a support to those folks that are booking in Concur that just have questions or need help. That is what they're for. And of course, you're always welcome to reach out to me as well. Sometimes I have the questions right away, but they are the subject matter experts. And it looks like Angela and Leanna both have their hands up. So feel free to unmute yourselves and ask your question. And excuse me for wiping my nose. Again, I'm
That's okay.
a little under the weather, but Angela, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So, I'm part of the admin support, and so the admin team with major donors, we already have like a drop down with all of the people that we support and that we can book for them or make changes. So, what you showed before that when they want to change their profile, they can go ahead and put in the name of the person that can book on their behalf. Do they
Yeah.
do that even though we already set up in that way?
Do you like you are you asking like you're probably a travel arranger for a number of people, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And so you can go in and update their profile for them if they like, or they can, if I'm understanding your question.
I was asking, do they still have to go in that profile to put in a name of the person that can book for them? Because we already have that
Yeah,
set.
as long as they're already, we had a list when we moved you folks over to our site here of all the travel arrangers, and you should already be assigned as a travel arranger. We shouldn't have to do that again.
Correct.
But
Correct.
Angela, if you were to send me the list of people you support, I could double check and make sure that they have you listed as their designated travel arranger.
Okay, we'll do
And
that.
we have travel arranger training next week for all those folks that are travel arrangers that support a group. We're going to do that next week as well.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. Leanna?
This is an oddly specific question, but so my TSA pre-check had expired in August, but my global entry took over. And so I think I've had 5 trips, some personal, some professional. So some booked directly with the airline and some booked through Concur. And I updated with my global entry number, but it's not loading it. So I don't know if this isn't like a problem with the airline or if it's a problem with my profile. Any suggestions as far as switching from one pre-check avenue to another?
Not really. I mean, I know obviously the numbers changed then. You went from just regular TSA pre-check to your global, right? If you send me your global entry number, in fact, if you want, let me send you guys, I'm gonna in the chat add my email address so that you can send me your information and I can go in and look at your profile if you'd like and make sure it's in there correctly. Maybe it just hasn't been updated. I don't know. We'd have to do some research on that.
Thank you.
Because it should be just a matter of updating the number, but you may need to update it in each of your airline apps too. Like maybe, do you have them in your airline apps and they haven't been updated?
I do. Well, we had it in there wrong because you had to put like the GE, but the last one, it was all in there correctly. And they said maybe it's because my middle name wasn't on my profile. So I've gone and added my middle name. So I didn't know.
It could be, there could be just something small that we need to add. So if you were to send me exactly how your name appears on your driver's license and your global entry number, I'm happy to go into your profile. I can look at that. But it also might need to be, if you have them in all of your like airline apps, you may need to update each of the airline apps to reflect correctly as well.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Anybody else with questions? We have about 5 or 10 more minutes.
Yes, this is Father Fisher.
Hi, Father Fisher.
Hi, I've been using Concord for 10 years now since I've been with Cross. I have a couple of questions. Number one, how do we use unused tickets?
Sure. So what will happen is, up here, when you're in your travel, in the travel module part, you'll see this unused, how you have your unused tickets list
Yes.
listed in here. The way that we work them here at Christofferson Business Travel, it's an automated process. So when you're booking, if there's a ticket that's applicable, our system automatically picks it up and uses that unused ticket. It'll automatically apply it if it's applicable.
Okay, I just recently booked thinking I was using an unused ticket on one of the airlines, and
Okay.
I'm not seeing that unused ticket has gone away. Does it still stay there until we
If-
make the flight?
If it was from your previous TMC, those do not load, those have to be utilized outside of the system. Anything that was done and ticketed by American Express Travel needs to be done either with American Express Travel directly or with the airline. We don't
Oh,
have, because the tickets are like unused tickets, or tickets are like a legal binding contract between the airline and the company. So there's not any other TMC that can use our tickets that we issue. Like we can't give them to utilize. It's not legal. The only people that supersede that, I should say, or organization is the airline itself. So it's either American Express that owns that ticket, or the airline supersedes American Express and can use the ticket if it's booked, by them. Does that make sense? Or the airline?
yes, no.
Yeah.
It
So
makes sense.
unfortunately, if you have an unused ticket credit from the previous TMC, we are not able, it doesn't load up into Concur, and we're not able to legally grab that ticket and use it for you. Only the airline can, or the previous TMC.
Okay, we'll
That's
probably
where,
be
yeah, so that's where you would want to reach out to Roy on those types of questions, okay?
exactly. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
I will be doing that. The second question I have is in reference to putting our personal credit cards under the profile. Number one, I did not know that we could do that. Hilton has just started the electronic key.
Yes,
Oh, I'm going to
love
use
that.
this. Well, I used it. It was accepted, except I got a notification. I still had to check in because they had the corporate card holding the room, but not my personal card.
Yeah. So here's my question. We are moving you folks. We're currently actually almost done with what's called a Confirma integration. That's the hotel prepay for all of you.
Mhm.
Because we know that you guys have a lot of issues trying to use that corporate card to pay for your room and tax at your hotel. So, but you could do that here and just designate your card for hotel only when you're adding that here. So if you were to add a card, see how right here it says car or hotel, excuse me, you would designate specifically what you'd want that card for. You'd never, of course, want to select air because you have your air corporate card. But if you have a card that you don't mind using for a hotel, I don't know what your policy is, other than I know that we're working toward offering hotel prepay for everybody using virtual cards. But in the meantime, or as another option, you are able to do like designate something for as a hotel card.
Thank you.
But I know that also when you are checking in with those, with your app, that if you have your company card, usually they'll charge that company card. You don't have a problem. Like some people at check-in will have a problem. They'll say, well, we need a physical card. And a lot of times you don't have obviously the physical 1010 card, right? Your American Express. And so that causes some hiccups. But I do know that if you have an app, the hotel app, and you're able to check in electronically, usually they charge the whatever card's on file. And if it's the 1010 card, then you don't have a problem. So
There's one other issue that I have not encountered recently, but our accounting department wants a copy of our receipt.
like your folio.
Yes, for the hotel. But every once in a while, under American Express, the corporate card was accepted, but then the hotel would not give us a receipt for the room.
Really? So you were staying at the room, and even though it was charged on the corporate card, they wouldn't give you the hotel folio.
Yes, Yes,
Well,
I have experienced that, and there was no rhyme or reason in
Right.
reference to them accepting the corporate card as opposed to the personal
And
card.
then not
But-
providing you a folio when you're the traveler, the one that's staying there. That's very, sometimes I think, oftentimes it's a matter of training from the front desk, those front desk folks that are at the hotel. Because you should have gotten the folio. They shouldn't have said, no, you can't have a folio on that, because you're trying to make sure you're reconciling to your company. So, I don't know, other than sometimes I think it's just a lack of training at the front desk
Yes.
on those issues sometimes. But I know with Confirma, that's going to be issues. Those are some a little bit of stress that'll be alleviated for you folks. So, any other questions I can answer?
No, my one comment though is I think that this transition has been very smooth.
Good.
I'm impressed with the new company.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you so much. And, it's my pleasure to, I'm thrilled to be the main contact, the account rep here for Cross Catholic. So again, if Roy's not in, or, you have a question, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to try to assist and help where I can.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes. Thank you, Father.
I think Angela has a question.
Yeah, just a quick question, Lisa. I would really like to hear a little bit more, like maybe a little bit more of an explanation as far as what Confirma includes. Like, I know that's kind of like a really big deal, and it's an upgrade, right, for hotel reservations.
Yeah. Roy, did you want to take that on, or do you want me to?
But you do know a little bit more about it than myself, Lisa, so
Yeah.
I think it's best if you do.
So you're asking basically, what is it really? Like what? Okay, so it's a virtual, what it is it's a program that will issue a virtual credit card based on your room and tax for a hotel. So it's going to be an automatic electronic virtual card that's going to pay room and tax, parking, whatever that hotel, requires. And then you're not going to have to worry about a darn thing. It's going to be smooth. And then on the accounting side, everybody's going to be able to go in and report and move those transactions where they need to be. I'm sure there will be training down the road on that, or more collateral shared with your team once that gets all finalized and set up. It's in the process. My project manager, Brandolyn Turner, who's been working with Cross Catholic on this, I know she's been in the throes of like getting everything set up on our side and with Confirma. I think it's probably a couple of more weeks away, I believe. I haven't gotten an update, but it is like the system will go in, pull the information, and create a virtual credit card to pay for the room and tax and parking or whatever is necessary. And then you folks won't even have to worry about like the troubles that you've been having with trying to, get them to accept the credit card, and all the manual work that goes with that. So that's essentially what Confirma is. It's a prepaid hotel program.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. We have about 2 more minutes, it looks like. Do we have any other questions before we end this webinar? I hope you all found it somewhat useful, and it was very nice to, allow me to introduce myself to you. And I really do look forward to working with you all, and it's been a great experience so far. So hopefully we can build on that.
Thanks so much, Lisa. Really appreciate you taking the time out to host this training session for us. And
My pleasure.
last call, is there anyone else that might have a question they'd like Lisa to answer? Don't be shy. Now is your last chance. No?
And if not, you have my email address.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you to everyone for attending this training session. I know you're all very busy. We appreciate you all taking the time out to join us. And again, thank you to Lisa and our Christopherson team as well. And yes, again, if anyone has any issues down the road, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself, to Lisa, and we'll get everything taken care of. It has been somewhat of a bumpy road as well in unveiling the new air portal platform. So there's still issues that we are ironing out at this point, but we will get everything resolved. And the important thing is that we're aware of whatever it is, whatever problems you all might be having. So please do not hesitate to contact us. And thank you again, everyone, for attending. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take
Thank
care.
you. You too. Bye now.
Bye, Roy.
Oh, Lisa. Oh, Sheila. Have a nice day. Oh, did you have a question, Ana Flora? I noticed you stayed behind. You're muted, sorry. I
I
can't hear
just
you.
I just want to write her email address. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
looking. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye now.